Hello everybody, in this video I want to show you how to replace the water pump in the 4.8 liter V8 Porsche in the 957 Cayenne S and GTS, and maybe the turbos, I'm not 100% sure, and I think this is practically the same engine as the 958s. There's a lot of videos on how to remove the thermostat, but my thermostat has already been done, so I don't need to do that. And as you can see, if I get a light in here, there's a lot of pink dust in my engine, which we'll get a closer look at later, which is coming from the water pump. I think this is one of the only connections that it could come from, and it gets kind of like swung around by the belt. So we're going to replace the water pump. I have a replacement here, and I got a full water pump and gasket instead of just a gasket, because I think it's this front gasket that's leaking, which means just replacing this gasket wouldn't have done anything. I also got a new pulley because I read somewhere that those plastic pulleys can get cracks on them, and if they crack, obviously your belt would fly off and you would lose the ability to drive. I got this one from URO. It's actually a metal one, which is surprising because it wasn't that expensive. And I also got some bolts. So this is the pulley bolts from FCP Euro. And these are also bolts, and these go in these holes. I got an extra one just in case. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to install this bad boy. The thing we need to do is we need to take these decorative covers off with a screwdriver. We've done that. We need to take off these intakes to give us some more space to get to the water pump. How you, I guess, officially do that is you take a T30, preferably on a wrench or a ratchet, and you twist this. You put it in here and you twist it until this little dot aligns with this dot. What I've learned over the years is to just grab a pair of pliers, hold on to it, and just twist it until that lines up, and then you can just pull out, and that usually saves me about 20 minutes. So I'm going to do that for this one as well. It comes right out, and then I guess these are fairly similar. You just got to look at the bottom, I think, with these. Same with these, just dot to the dot. You can take them out. You've taken all of them out, you can kind of pull this back. Same here, this one will be a little bit tougher. Comes out right there. What you don't need to do is take off the oxygen sensors, which this one is pretty easy. Just push on this and like wiggle it back and forth. It's kind of tough with one hand. And then I like to just tuck them back here. This one is exactly the same, but the clip is on the bottom side, so it's a little bit more difficult. These can be, if you've never done these or opened these up, they can be quite tough, but once you've done that, you can kind of just lift this out and then put it to the side. And we have a pretty great access to the water pump. This is the water pump pulley. Obviously, the water pump is right behind there. And as you can see, there's a lot of red, pink dust all over my engine. The official recommended coolant color is pink, so I assume that's where that comes from. And it kind of looks like it's just being swung from here. So I'm assuming that that is from the water pump, because kind of that's where it's concentrated the most. Before we take off the belt, actually, we should loosen these, because otherwise it's going to be impossible to put force on this without the belt being off. Because right now I can't really twist this because there's so much tension on the belt. So I'm gonna loosen these real quick. The best way to take that off, obviously, is with a T40. Unfortunately, my T40 Torx is so long that I can't actually get it seated. So, fortunately, I have this little Husky kit that I can just put that in there and just crack it open. Let me get a better view. Oh my god, that is tight. There we go. And obviously try not to break any of your other hoses, but that one is pretty loose, so I'll crack the rest open. After that, after you've cracked them loose, no need to take them out too much because you want the pulley to be on there still, we need to remove the belt from the water pump pulley. The way I used to do this before is get an adjustable spanner like that and try to get it on the belt tensioner like that and pull it up. Problem with that is, in order for that to work, you need to get like your whole hand in there and put a whole lot of force on it. Someone actually commented that you can fit a 30 socket right over that and get at it that way. I tried it earlier and it was pretty easy. It's just a little bit kind of tough to do it on video, but get a long breaker bar and get it seated on there, like between there, and you should be able to then move it like that to release the tension on the belt. As you can see, I got it on there, and now if I just gently push on this, you'll see that the tension in the belt goes away, and then you can, I would use a flat screwdriver or some kind of pry bar to just pry that belt off of that pulley, and you should be good. But like I said, if you don't have a size 30 socket and a breaker bar, you can take off the fan by unscrewing, I think it's this bolt and this bolt, undoing these two clips, and then you should be able to just pull it out slowly. There's videos on this. But yeah, I'm gonna take that belt off that pulley right now and get back to you. After you get the belt off, you just want to kind of let it dangle right here so that you can pull it back up. There's no need to take the whole belt off because you'll be in a world of pain trying to get it back on without taking the radiator off. So next up, I think, is to remove these 3 bolts fully. Again, this is a T40, and then pull the pulley off. Should be pretty easy. So once you back them out far enough with a socket, you can actually just rotate them by hand and they come out pretty easy. And then you can just rotate the pulley to get to the top one and pull that one out as well. It's really nothing groundbreaking over here. But it is a little bit hot because I just drove the car. Alright, and then should be able to pull the pulley off. It's probably going to be a bit tough because I don't know if this has ever been replaced. There we go. And oh my, that is a lot of coolant. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a whole goop of coolant down there, which is no good. So I'm glad I'm replacing this. I don't think I will be removing the throttle body because it's not going to give me all that much space, and it doesn't look too difficult to get at all the bolts. Like, you can kind of see them. I don't know if I can lower my phone into the engine, but you can kind of see them. They're Torx, which is not that bad, so I think I might just try to wing it like that. The biggest dilemma I still have is if I pull this out, if I take the bolts out and I pull it out, there's going to be a bunch of coolant that just spills down onto the pan. Alternatively, I can loosen that one right there, this big hose, at the bottom of the radiator and try to catch as much coolant as I can. In order to do that, I would need to take the bottom pan off as well, and I can do that. It's just then I have to raise the car up, and I don't know if I want to do that. So I think I might just open it up and just let it all spill, and then I'll go for a drive later to try to get rid of some of the coolant that's in that pan. So instead of dumping water everywhere on the ground, I actually found a better way. So I have this little hand pump, and I put the end of that in the coolant reservoir, and I pumped most of it out. And so it's not that much, but now I'm going to try to loosen this up. And so since this is higher than that, I assume like whatever I get out of here into hopefully my catch can is not going to just drip down. So I'm hoping that's going to work. I'm going to use a pair of pliers to hold on to that and just kind of pull this that way, and hopefully not too much water will come out, but whatever comes out of here was going to come out of there anyway, so I don't feel too bad. Like that, with a pair of channel locks, you can kind of get that clamp to move over to the side a little bit, and then should be able to move this out of the way, but I don't have it right. I got it. Now I can move this out of the way and then try to get this off. I might do this off camera because I can already feel that there's going to be a sizable amount of liquid coming out of it, and I want to try to either catch it or stop it from going out. So wish me luck. Is I've actually jacked up the car on the passenger side pretty high up, so that, I don't know if you can see this, but the engine is tilted slightly back and slightly like that, which means that this port isn't as exposed. And then I took my little pump, I put it in here, a little bit of water actually came out, like not that much, nothing to be concerned about, but it is wet down there. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Oh shit, crap, that's not good. But I'm trying to get as much coolant out. I've got this hose pretty deep in there, and then I'm going to put it in the other way to try to get as much coolant as I can out of the car, so that I can just put it back in, because this is clean and the pump is clean. I can just kind of run it through a filter and just pour it right back into the coolant reservoir. So I think this is a pretty elegant way of doing it. Don't know how other people would do it. I guess if you have a kit that you can hook up onto there and just vacuum all the coolant out, that would be superior. But second to that, this is a pretty mess-free solution. Like, it's not even that wet. And once you've gotten as much coolant out as you can, we've come to the main event, which is to unbolt the 5, I think, E10, so E-Torx 10 screws or bolts on the water pump. And it actually probably helps if you keep your new water pump close by. That way you can kind of approximate where all the screws are. You don't have to go digging. I think one of these will be good. I might have to put on another one. There's plenty of room back here. So we'll see how far I can get. I'm going to try to just crack them all kind of loose and then see what happens. I have the 5 screws out of the pump, and so now I'm ready to pull it out. I've got a couple of towels or rags. I know they're probably not going to do much if too much water comes out, but if anything, they'll just kind of guide it over and not straight down. So I don't know how hard this is going to be, but I'm pulling on this pretty hard. I might need to bust out the hammer or a mallet. I finally got the pump out. It's pretty greasy down there. It's kind of nasty. I already cleaned it up a little bit, but the pump itself, or the stuff itself in there, is pretty okay, which is always good to see. Same with the pump, pretty clean. I'm sure there's some grease that I transferred over it, but as you can see, this gasket is done, especially compared to how much this one sticks out. So I'm actually not 100% sure if it's the outer gasket or if it's a gasket like internally or whatever. But yeah, I got it out. It was kind of tough to get it past here, but I'm sure you'll manage. One thing to note, and I didn't know this, is the bolts for the timing cover. So those are the exact same bolts as the ones for the water pump. So when you're taking them out, make sure you're actually taking the water pump ones out, because I took out 2 of the timing cover bolts, which probably isn't that bad. You can stick them right back in, as long as you didn't loosen all of them. I'm sure that's fine. But they're the exact same length. I don't know the exact torque spec. they weren't particularly tight, so I just torqued them right back up to good and tight. But now that we have the old one off, it is time to put the new one back in like this. So basically just the exact opposite of what we've been doing, which hopefully at this point isn't going to be very hard. But yeah, it's time to put the other one in. Oh, and on the water, so, you know, given I siphoned out that much, a sizable amount of water still came out. Not nothing, but definitely less than what I think would have come out if I just hadn't pumped any of the water out. So I think this is definitely a recommendation if you have a pump like that, or I guess otherwise take that one out, and I think you should be good as well. Although you'd just be draining this and the reservoir. So I don't know, but in any case, I feel like a fair amount of water came out. Manageable though, nothing crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna install this one, put the new bolts back in because I did get new bolts, and torque them up. The torque spec for both these bolts and the pulley is, I think, 10 Newton meters. I don't know what that is in inch pounds or foot pounds or whatever you use, but 10 Newton meters. I was able to get it on, put the 5 bolts in, and torque them up to 10 Newton meters. So that's in now. The next step is the pulley, and it's kind of the same as what it is to take it out. You just put it on there and like that. See if the screws line up. I can't tell from here, but then you just put the screws in, torque those at 10 Newton meters, and you're done. Well, then you got to put everything else back, including the belt, but the hardest part will be done. And so once you've got them on, you use your 30 mil socket and breaker bar, push it that way, and then you get the belt over the pulley, and you're basically done. At this point, the hardest part is done. So all that's left for us to do now is, I think, put the intake line back, and then I think we're good to start the engine. If I come across something, I'll let you know. Oh, don't forget to torque that to 10 Newton meters as well. Or just, you know, however tight you feel. I'm not your mom. So yeah, I will, well, you gotta, before you start it, put the coolant back also. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So I've put the intake back on. Now all I have to do is put these little, I don't know what they're called, they're pins, back in the holes, turn them the right way, and then obviously you want to start up the car and just go through the brake bleeding procedure, which you just want to start the car, make sure that the coolant doesn't go above a certain point, top it up, and then just kind of keep doing that until you're either convinced that it's fully bled. I always like to bring a jug of this stuff with me when I go on drives after I've topped up the coolant system. But yeah, you should be good. Obviously you want to put the decorative pieces back if you'd like. But yeah, that's how you do your water pump on your 4.8 liter Cayenne V8. One thing I would like to say, if you're still watching, is I would have, in hindsight, much rather have taken off the radiator, the reservoir, sorry. Not the reservoir, the fan cooling shroud, because it would have just given me so much more space to get at that than kind of have to fiddle with my tools that are not stubby enough. You can't get them in right. So yeah, that's how you do it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any comments, I would be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.